the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. The show that gives you the lowdown on how to become a successful real estate entrepreneur. With more than 30 years of experience, America's top female real estate investor Dwan is an expert in financial freedom and turning dreams into realities. Now's your chance to become a Dwandernaire with the help of Dwan. Here's to a flaming hot foreclosure market with the help of Dwan. Cheers.
Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of the most Dwanderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor. And I have another exciting episode today of Inside the Minds of today's millionaires. So we interview all kinds of people from all kinds of business walks of life, and we get inside their head and see what's in there and see if something they're doing can help you do something that you've been trying to do. So our motto at Dwanderful is people before profits. So if that resonates with you, you're at the right place, it's the right time. And if you go to Dwanderful.com and opt in, I have 4 free ebooks with you. So my guest today is Heather Dreves. Heather, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on, as I never know what we're going to talk about. So I get super excited to kind of dig in and see what people are like and what they're thinking about. And you just never know where the conversation might take us.
Right.
So we like to start off and we do drinks with Dwan. So I think we're having water, both of us today.
Yeah, we're having water today.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, see, mine's right out of the bottle too. I don't even have a fancy cup. So everybody take a drink, take a big stretch, take a deep breath, clear out your mind and get ready to learn and have some fun with us today, because we always have fun over at Dwanderful. Okay, so Heather, what we like to do is I like to have the guests tell us your name, what you do, like a short version of what you do, and how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Then I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions because my listeners want to know what's your deal.
Perfect. Well, to start with, my name's Heather Dreves. I am with Secured Investment Corp, and we are a private money lender and a fund manager operator out of a town called Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we are at the top of Idaho in the Panhandle. We're right next to the state of Washington. However, we are a nationwide lender. I focus mostly around the passive side of investing. So the clients that I cater to are individuals that are looking to create passive wealth for themselves, whether that's through cash flow or growth through the different vehicles that we offer. And I love your motto, people before profit. We actually have we have over 100 employees, and in our, what we call the bullpen, we have a saying that says we get more by helping others get more of what they want. And so that is also our focus here too, as our clients.
Nice. And how do we get a hold of you?
So you can get a hold of me at our website at securedinvestmentcorp.com. That is our main website to our company, and that's where you can actually schedule an appointment with myself and then actually get more information about what we're going to talk about today.
Nice. Okay, I love that. So I like the fact that you help people with passive income. So as you know, as a real estate investor, I'm always helping mostly new to intermediate beginners start investing in real estate to, change their financial future. But I also tell them, like, at some point you have to start investing that money somewhere. Otherwise, you literally have to work until the end of time.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's like if you're going to wholesale houses, like, I've wholesaled over 2,000 houses, but if I don't invest that money somewhere, I have to wholesale till I'm like 90.
Right. Well, and I think people have this predetermined opinion that they have to have a lot of money to start investing. And I think that's where we kind of help fill a void too, is, we work with people that are wholesaling. We work with people that are fixing and flipping. We work with clients that are, holding properties as rentals as far as funding goes. But we also have the ability to help people that want to just start with small dollars, and maybe they're still working, or, they're trying to plan for the future. But, I think everybody has had this stigma that I have to have $100,000 to start investing. That's not true. We actually have a real estate fund that you can invest as little as $1,000. But like you said,
Really?
even if you're successful and you're active out there and you're making these profits, it's great, but it's important to get that money working for you too, in addition to what you're doing actively.
No, it is. That's why I really love to interview people that work with, secured investing and things like that, because I don't want people to be wholesaling until they're 90.
Right.
Wholesale for years, close a bunch of deals, make a ton of money, and then let it work for you somewhere, put it somewhere where
Right.
it works. So you guys do they have to be accredited investors?
No, that's the really neat thing. So we've been managing funds for 10 years now. And as a lot of you probably know, back in the day, when you opened real estate funds like what we manage, typically you had to be an accredited investor. So that means you either had to qualify with $1 million in assets, excluding your liabilities and your primary residence, or you could qualify through your income. So you could make $200,000 a year as an individual for the past 2 consecutive years, or $300,000 as a married couple. That was what the SEC said. Hey, these are the only type of people that can go into your fund, which, just on a side note, I think is insane. I think real estate funds are more secure than the stock market. But again, we follow the SEC compliance. And so 4 or so years ago, they changed some of the rulings, and we jumped all over the chance to open a fund for everybody. So anybody can invest in it. It's what's called a Regulation A+ fund. So it is no different than our other fund as far as the way it's managed. The same assets are going in and out of it. The only thing that's different is that you don't have to qualify as an accredited investor.
Nice.
So we
that
also
opens the door for everybody.
Absolutely. And, we wanted it a small entry level amount. We didn't want to say our other fund, you have to put 50,000 in, which is a lot of money for most people. And so we landed on $1,000. We said, anybody can just about get started with that. We also really wanted to help people with small IRAs or old 401ks that they never moved anywhere when they left their employer 10 years ago. So this fund is really nice for those small balance accounts too, to get them working. So that was really our mission. We feel like everybody should have the opportunity to create wealth for themselves.
Yeah, I like that. I think you might be the first person I've ever interviewed where someone could get in with such a small amount. I'm trying to think, because I've interviewed a lot of people. I'm thinking the smallest one has been like 50,000, but they're usually like 100.
Well, actually, our $50,000 minimum on our accredited investor is low. Like you said, most people, it's 100.
It's 100, yeah. So that's nice. So somebody like flips a house and they make, I don't know, 10 grand, and they're like, hey, I'd like to invest this and flip some more houses and invest a little bit more and flip some more houses. They can start out kind of small.
Yeah, they can start out small, but still get the same yields that our accredited investor fund is getting. So it's paying 8 to 9%, which is great, because you don't have to do anything. Really make your decision, do your due diligence on us, and put your money to work for you, and let us. And like I said, and you mentioned this is in addition to what you're already doing. I'm not here promoting people to pull all their money out of the stock market and put everything, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but definitely look at diversifying. And this is a way that you can add real estate into your portfolio without having large dollars.
Exactly. No, I really love that. I did not know that that's exactly what you guys did. I really like that, because I know so many people that say like, oh, I wish I could invest or put money here, put money there, and they just can't. They don't have the credit, or they can't become accredited, or they don't have whatever you have to have. But they have some cash sitting around that they want to do something with it. It just sits in the bank getting like what, negative 10%? Oh
yeah, I know, it's so sad.
How fast is the dollar falling right now? Doesn't it say? Did I read somewhere like if you have like $10,000, it's only worth like 3,000 in a couple years?
Yeah. Isn't that scary?
It's pretty scary. It really is pretty scary. I tell you, all that and all the interest rates and the gas and just like all of it, it's like, oh my gosh, it is seriously, it is frightening for people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe in inflationary periods, real estate's one of the best places to be.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing with our funds is there's tangible assets that back them. It's real estate. It's not investing in some company and they go sideways and you have nothing. There's no value left, right? With real estate, and we specifically focus around residential. So we are in the affordable housing market space, single families up to 4 units. That's our niche. We're experts at that and we stay in our lane. And we specifically do that, one, because we think we're really good at it. But the second reason is when markets start shifting and things are, values are decreasing, interest rates are going up, when you're in the affordable housing market, you can pivot, you can be nimble, you can say, hey, I was going to fix and flip that house, but I don't know if the value's there, let's rent it out and cash flow it. And so we do specifically stay in that affordable housing market space also.
I love that too. I love the fact that I can think of so many people right now that would love to be involved in something, but they don't think that they qualify.
Yeah, and that's the message we want to get out there. It's out there.
Is this your company?
I am one of the fund managers. I am not the owner of the company, but I've been with the company for 10 years and helped build this out and manage the funds and have ultimately been responsible for raising all the capital. So
nice. And I'm going to ask you how old you are.
I'm 51.
Wow, you are a rock star. Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
I'm 63. I'm like, I don't look 63.
You do not look 63.
I don't look like 51 either. I like that. I like the fact that nowadays, I don't know if it's just because we have like good products or options for better food or Botox, but you see
Probably
these
all of
women,
it.
like I remember my grandmothers when they were in their 50s with like the white hair and the buns and the old lady dresses. And I look at them, I'm like, these women are like a decade younger than I am right now, and they look like they're 200 years old.
I know.
Like 200 for real. And now it's like all of us girls are like, look at us, man.
Well,
like,
plus all the women in real estate now. I mean, I got in this 20 years ago, and there weren't women predominantly in real estate. Not to mention managing funds and wholesaling deals, and as active as you are. So I love girl power. I like being,
So you got involved 20 years ago. So what were you doing then? Like 20 years ago? What were you doing? You're 30 years old. You're like, okay, I'm going to get involved in real estate.
So I went to college to be a teacher and decided I was not going to go down that path, which is interesting because somebody the other day said to me, but you are an educator. I just don't teach children. So never went into teaching, and we have 2 boys, so had our last son and decided I was going to go back into the workforce. Had a friend that worked in the private money industry, and he's like, come to work for me. He knew I had some sales experience and some real estate background. I had no idea what private money was. I thought when you bought a piece of real estate as an investment, you went to the bank. And so went there and my eyes were open, like one, open to the opportunity for funding for me personally as a real estate investor, and then was fascinated by the way that these investors were creating wealth through these notes they were buying and investing in funds. And I was like, it was just kind of mind blowing. And so I did that, went through the 2008 downturn, which, if you were there, it was rough. And
it was brutal.
Yeah.
And we knew it was coming because I do a lot of short sales. It's like we knew from the banks and all those interest only loans and, with 2 and 5 and 7 year balloons, it's like, this is going to be so bad when all these loans come due.
I know.
And we knew it. And we even told our students, like, you just be prepared. Like, this thing is really, really coming, like, for real down the pike. And then even when it came, it's like, it was so much more brutal than I thought it was going to be. And I was prepared for fairly brutal.
Right. Yeah. And we were heavy in the land loans. So we did a lot of raw land where we're at. That's pretty common. And, obviously hedging the bet that these property values were going to increase. So long story short, it was very messy. I stayed there to clean up the mess for everybody. And quite honest, most clients came with me here. So the rest is kind of history. when I came on board here, I dialed for dollars. I got notes funded. And then we realized not everybody wants to buy a note, right? Like there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also headaches that can come along with that. And that's how we, as an organization here, transitioned over into managing funds. We're like, what could we do that we can better service our borrowers and brokers, get their deals funded fast, and then give our clients that like to buy notes, more time to do their due diligence, and then also have an opportunity for clients that just want something really passive. They don't want to deal with, hey, your guy didn't pay, do you want to foreclose? Not to say that there's not opportunity there. And we sell a lot of notes, but not everybody really wanted that. And that's really kind of how we transitioned over to managing funds, raising capital into there. I would say most of our clients invest in the fund, and the more risk adverse guys that really want to be hands-on and pick and choose the deals, they buy the notes.
So they invest in the fund, and then what do you guys do with that money?
So we do two things. We diversify the fund. So we take 75% of the fund and we lend that money out. So we lend money to other real estate investors.
So are you lending to like people that are rehabbing, buying apartment buildings? Are these like short-term interest-only loans, or are you lending like, here's a 30-year loan?
No, short-term, so 12 months. Interest-only payments, that's how the people that buy the notes are getting paid. The borrowers make their payments every month. So then those payments are dispersed to them. And all single family up to 4 units. We don't do apartment complexes. So I'd say our average loan amount is $150,000.
Yeah, that's
12-month loan. Yeah.
Now, do you lend all over the United States?
Yes.
Nice.
Nationwide lender. And so the fund makes money off origination points, interest payments paid by borrowers, and then the other 25% of the balance of the fund, we invest that in real estate in our local market. So specifically Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is northern Idaho, and Spokane, Washington, which is eastern Washington. And we have an acquisition department team that goes out, identifies projects. As a fund manager, there's 3 of us. We decide if we want to invest in it, and then profits from those types of activities flow back into the fund also.
Nice. I like that. So years ago, I don't even know how long. It's like a decade. It has to be a decade ago. My husband and I had this big Prevost, like the big rock star bus. So we used to line up all these workshops and just kind of travel around, and stuff. And somehow we ended up in Coeur d'Alene. There was like an old, maybe it had been like a convent or something. And it had a hospital in it.
Okay.
Anyway, it ended up being for sale. So we're like, oh my God, it's on the water. We could turn it into something. So we went and looked at it. And I've got to tell you, and I am not like spooked out about anything. I was so creeped out in there because you could just feel like, okay, there's a lot of death that happened in this place. It's old. It's old. It's so old. And when you walk into the hospital room, it's so, I mean, it had to be like early 1900s, like really barbaric. Wow. And they were trying to sell this, like, and they were like, I'm like, well, why can't it's not like, oh, everybody says it's haunted. So I'm like, I'll go in. I swear to God, I wasn't in there for 5 minutes. I'm like, you know what? I don't really believe in things being haunted, but I feel like it could be. So I am totally tapping out right now. But it had this beautiful church inside of it. What's the room? Look at the sanctuary.
Oh yeah.
It was so beautiful. It was like the stain. It was so beautiful. And I told Bill, I said, I feel like I'm scarred for life over Coeur d'Alene, because when I got in the building, I mean, literally my hair stood up on end. I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
I know, right? I'm just like, cast things out in Jesus. I just keep going. But I'm telling you, man, there was something there. But we still debated on it because it was something we could get really cheap. I thought, it'd be neat senior living or something. And it was just, it was like this really neat building until you went down to the first floor where all the medical stuff was. And I could not get past the creep factor. So interesting. I've never been in a place like that before or since. A few times, like, do you want to look at this?
Yeah. No. I'll have to look to where that is, because I'm not. I mean, the scene behind me is the view from our office.
I have to ask him. He remembers. My husband remembers like literally every address of everything since the history of the world. And I just remember thinking like how cool it would be
Yeah.
And then after I went through it, I was like, I don't know. I think maybe
Oh,
it might be a little bit. I don't know. It could be. I don't want to
Coeur
take it.
d'Alene has exploded. It's the secret's out. It has
It's
become,
beautiful there.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
so beautiful there. Yeah, you're seeing me behind. I was like, oh, I know that. It is so beautiful there, and the weather. It's so magnificent. I think
It's a
that's a
very
great
nice
place for
place to be.
anyone to invest.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Idaho's where they grow all the potatoes, so it's got to be good, right?
Yeah, that's what people say is, oh, we grow potatoes. That's more southern Idaho.
Yeah, I know, but still, can't live without Idaho. Can't live without Iowa.
I
We
know.
invest in Iowa. It's like we need all the corn. Like we need all these places. So you got to invest in. You got to diversify. Like you said, you have to diversify.
Right,
So
right.
you guys do. So someone comes up and they say, I don't know, I have $10,000. So
Mhm.
75% of that would go into your lendings, and you guys do. So I don't know what you call them. I still call them hard money loans. Is that still the
Same
term
thing.
that everybody uses?
Yeah, same thing. Private money, hard money. It's all the
Okay.
same.
I think I started in the early 90s. So they were called hard money loans back then.
Oh, yeah.
So I think along with the time, it's just like private money. It's the same as hard money. So somewhere in my mind, I'm still stuck on I've been using the term for 30 years. So they get invested, and then you do 12 years interest only. And then, so you guys make money on origination of points like that. So for people that might not know, what does that mean? I make money on origination and points.
Mhm.
What does that mean to a person that's listening that doesn't know that terminology?
Yeah, so when we close a loan, we'll charge a set origination point. That's part of the fees that the borrowers pay, and a portion of that goes to the fund. So let's say we fund a $100,000 loan and we charge them 1%. It's 1% of that $100,000. That's the origination fee, and the fund earns 20% of that. So
Good.
there's that right off the bat. Then as the borrower makes their payments, there's interest payments that come in, and our funds pay out all profit. So there's funds out there that are set up different, like a syndication where, you're investing in a fund that is investing in an apartment complex. Usually you see your returns when they sell that project in 5 years. Our fund is, for lack of better terms, it's just a cash flowing fund. So it's got interest payments coming in, portion of origination points, and then it's got profit from these other real estate activities. And we pay all that profit out every month. So we don't wait till the end of the year. We pay all profit out every month. So my clients that are saying, hey, I'm retiring, I'm selling my business. I want to not dip into the principal that I've saved up. I want my money to work for me, and I want to live off of that. Our fund is perfect for that because it's just cash flow. It pays it out every month. Now, I have a lot of clients that are younger or aren't looking for cash flow, and they're saying, I want to grow that account as quick and as big as I can. They can actually reinvest their earnings, and now they're compounding their returns, right? I'd say average returns on that fund is 8 to 9%, but it fluctuates, and it could be more.
That's really good though.
Yeah.
It's backed by real estate. So if the people stop making the payments, you guys always have the option to take that property back. If somebody rehabbed it or made it nicer than it was, it's easy for you guys to keep it or get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
nice. I love it. Yeah, I honestly, I'm trying to think of all the people I've interviewed. I think you're the first one that people can get in with such a small amount. And I think that's really nice because there's so many more people that can come in at 1 or 2 or 5 or 10,000 than 100 with all this stuff they have to go through to become accredited.
Right.
Like there's like 100 people like that to one person like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you open the door for a lot of people to start making money and really growing and using their money without having to be part of something that in their mind. I think if you tell a regular person, you could be part of a hedge fund. They just think of like Wall Street, hedge funds, you got to have $100 million. They don't envision that they could do that.
Right. Yeah. And that's our mission. That's our goal, is to spread the word. I will tell you, opening this other fund for unaccredited investors was not an easy task. It took about a year going through the SEC through due diligence, and it costs a lot of money to open. But again, we have a mission. We want people to grow wealth for themselves and their family, whether that's actively as a active investor or passively. Everybody should have that opportunity. It should not be available only to high net worth individuals so they can get wealthier. And so we're one of only a few of these Regulation A funds that are actually real estate backed. There's not very many of them in the United States. Usually they're crowdfunding platforms and things like that.
Yeah, you're like the first one that I talk to, and I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm super. I always get excited when I have someone on my show and I find out like some little tidbit like that. It's like, hey, there are so many people that could work with you.
Yeah. Well, we love spreading the word.
Yeah, so I'm happy I get to be a part of spreading the word. Okay, so we're going to jump topics for a minute. So when you were like young, like 13, 14, 15, what was Heather of that day doing?
I played a lot of sports. Played a lot of sports. I was raised in an all-girl family by a ex-Marine Corps pilot. So by a very strict dad. But was exposed to real estate. Like my parents were what I would say active real estate investors. They had day jobs, but they dabbled in real estate and created wealth for themselves. But yeah, 13, I was at our lake place in the summer and I played sports all year.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. I know it's fun. I never did play sports. We lived out in the country, like way in the country. So we like rode our bikes, we rode horses, like I don't know. We worked in the garden and stuff. It's like, oh, I don't remember ever having like any organized kind of sports way out in the middle. I lived like in the actual boondocks. And I'm like, oh, that's where I grew up, in the actual boondocks. So we never did anything like that. I thought those people that like traveled and get involved in sports and all over the place. It's like, I had a very sheltered upbringing in the middle of Westmont, Ohio. So what is your favorite band of all time?
Favorite band? Oh,
you only got to pick one.
That's tough.
Right? It is.
Gosh. I really like Dave Matthews Band, but I've turned pretty country lately, so that's hard.
Well, you got to pick one.
I would probably say Dave Matthews Band. I
love Dave Matthews Band too. I like country too, though.
Yeah. What's your favorite band?
My favorite band of all time is Styx.
Oh, I like Styx.
They were like a band like from the 70s. Well, they're still out now, but I saw them in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Their type of music and like that orchestra sort of sound and I don't know. I've seen everybody and I fell in love with them like in the late 70s and I've loved that band all the way through.
Yeah,
it's like I still love them to this day. If I see them anywhere, whether it's a stadium or any place, I still go see them. But right up by that is Queen.
Oh yeah,
I'm a huge Queen fan. So I don't know.
I
like country, but I grew up. My family is from Tennessee, so I grew up listening to bluegrass.
Oh yeah.
So I like Johnny Cash and like Naomi Judd just passed away.
I know.
I was so devastated. And I like the old Patsy Cline.
I do too.
I tell you, I sit down. When my husband's not around, I put on the Sirius TV and I put on bluegrass. And he'll come in and say, what are you listening to? I'm like, dude, this is my roots. So I like the old. I mean, I like the new country too. Like, I'm a fan too. But I am like, if I had to pick, I would go old country.
Yeah, I like old country too.
I love Johnny Cash and like Loretta and
yes,
all of those guys. All that is just all good. Man, so good. So and I weirdly enough I like bluegrass. I didn't like it for a long time, but I was like, oh my God, why do we have to listen to all this music? Because my dad was a crazy Hank Williams senior fan. And as a child, every Sunday morning he would turn on the bluegrass full blast. And that's how we would get woken up. I was like, turn that shit off. And I get grounded because I said shit. And then I hated it. But now that I'm older, it's like, oh, I love Hank Williams. You listen like senior?
Yeah, I do
too. Words to all the songs.
Yeah.
Funny how the stuff that you couldn't stand when you were little, you like it when you get older.
It kind of circles back around, right?
It does. And my little grandkids now will listen to like Casey and the Sunshine Band. I love I turned 21 in the 80s, so I was all into the disco.
Oh gosh.
So my little grandbabies like sing Shake Your Booty and all the Casey and the music. And it is funny how it all circles back.
Yeah.
I think deep down, like Styx was my first like band I fell in love with, and I just stayed.
I like it.
Yeah, Aerosmith, like all of it.
I like it. Yeah.
I love
I
it.
just saw that Guns N' Roses sang with Carrie Underwood at a country music festival last weekend, and I did not even recognize him.
I have to look it up on YouTube. I would love to see that. Did you see when Steven Tyler sang with Carrie Underwood and they sang Walk This Way? Wait, at the CMA Awards, like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago? Oh my God, I was like, I love both of them. I do love me some Carrie Underwood, I gotta tell you. So what is your favorite food?
Mexican food. That's an easy one for me.
My husband too. And where's your favorite place? Do you have like a favorite place when you go there and you travel, you're just like,
yes. Yeah, we have a lake place on a lake in northern Idaho. It's probably about 45 minutes from here. It's called Lake Ponderay. That's my happy place.
Lake Ponderay.
Mm-hmm.
I like the water too. I feel like anytime you're on the water, it's a good thing. So
we're both.
I know these are like really random questions, but I always tell people like, listen, when you're listening to and talking to people like you and people that can help people, we're all just like regular people. We all have things we like, we all have things we don't like. We all start off doing this and then turn to that. Like, and so I just think it's fun to find out, like,
I think it's super interesting.
Like.
Yeah.
I like to find out what people like.
I like it.
So towards the end of every show, we do some things called the 5 equities of life. So my regular listeners know that the 5 equities are financial, spiritual, physical, family, and mental. And I feel like pretty much everything in our life would fall under a category. Like, your mental is like your mental health, your mental well-being, like how you're feeling. Financial would be what you make, what you tithe, what you give away. Family is friends, like, we kind of all fall into a category. And I find, at least for myself when I first started, I was so focused on making money that my life got really out of whack.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people do that, especially in the beginning. And so one of the things I like to focus on is like, listen, you don't have to do this thing and everything else has to suffer. Yep. So I really strive every single solitary show to help people have a little bit more balance. So when I have a guest, I like for them to choose one of the 5 equities and then just give us an assignment and something simple that people can do. And I ask people to just do it for a week. It's like, do it for a week. If you like it and it adds value to your life, continue to do it. And if it's not for you, at least you tried it and you just stay doing the same little things that you do day in and day out and day in and day out. And then when your show airs during that week, I actually do the equity myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I practice what I preach. So which equity are you going to choose and what is going to be our assignments?
Well, I think was one of the equities the mental health.
Mental.
Yeah,
just mental.
So this is perfect timing to ask me this question because very recently within the last week, I've had to really sit, like you said, you try to be everything for everybody, right? And you just get in this rat race. And, I had a little health episode and it made me kind of step back and realize that I can't help take care of other people if I'm not taking care of myself.
Amen.
And we actually do something within our company. We have a book of the month club. So we pay our employees $120 a month to read a book and do a book report. Sometimes it's choose your own book and other times it's assigned. So the book this month is about self-discipline. And so it was perfect. Like, I feel like it was a sign.
Yeah, a sign from God. I was like, hey girl, listen,
slow down. Yeah. So I am reading every morning, 30 minutes in the morning. I was waiting till the end of the day and my day would get away from me. And so I do it first thing in the morning before I get on social media, check emails, because if I don't, it never was happening. And the book is so appropriate at this time. And it's really just about setting goals and being disciplined enough to actually follow through with it. So I would say my assignment would be read 30 minutes every morning.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. And got up this morning, did my 30 minutes, have my coffee. I actually had a colleague tell me that if you're trying to create a new habit, link it to something that's already a habit. Like, I know I have my coffee every single morning, so I'm going to sit and do that. I thought that was an interesting.
That's a good idea. Link it to something you already do. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Because,
great suggestion.
that is a good idea. Because if you know you're going to have coffee, oh, I'm having my coffee, I'm going to do this. Then it's not like, oh, I had my coffee. Shoot, I forgot to do that thing over there.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I'm the person in my family that when someone gets sick or has a problem, everybody calls me. Like,
Me
I'm
too.
always flying here, I'm flying over there. Just this year, I spent 6 weeks in the last of December and the 1st of January, all of January. I spent 6 weeks at my dad's because he and my stepmom got sick, and sadly she passed away. And then he had to go to physical therapy, and and I was like, I spent 6 weeks, and I thought, okay, I'm happy to help everybody, but I missed my daughter's birthday, my granddaughter's birthday, Christmas, New Year's, like all of it. And I was like, I have got to stop. I cannot be the person that everyone in the entire family calls when there's like a million of us.
Yeah.
I kind of put my foot down, and when I left, I said, now listen to me. Everybody stop calling me, because my answer is no.
Yeah, learning to say no is a tough one.
And I put a thing on my phone in the morning for a Bible study, and I have it set to pop on at 8. So my deal is I can't do anything else until I read that and I can swipe it off. And I
like that too.
Yeah, because it's on my phone. So then it's like right there in little notifications. I was like, and then if I see it, so a little green thing, it's like, and this has been a couple of days. I got up and got busy, but like 99%, every morning at 8 o'clock, I do that. And then I start with whatever I got going on. And it really does help just take a minute to start your day better.
It does. Just kind of sets the tone for the day instead of just, I was jumping up, getting on my phone, reading emails, checking LinkedIn, Instagram. You know, that's the world we live in. So it's hard not to look at social media, but I was starting to see the negative impact. It just started my day that way. And it was like, I can't do this. So, and I'm like, everybody in my family, it calls me for everything, and learning to say no and being more mindful of my time. It's like, I can do that, but I'm not doing it right this second.
And we have like 15 grandkids, and they're all in their 30s and 40s. It's not even like they're little kids. It's like, okay, well, and this is what they say. Well, you work for yourself, so you have the time. Everyone else has a job. And it's like, how is it after 30 years, you all still don't think I have a job? So they call me, and I'm just like, that was my dad. I said, Dad, I love you so much, but listen, no matter what happens this year, I'm not coming back up here. If you want to see me for a visit, you want to come to Colorado, if you want me to come here and help you, the answer in advance is no. And I text the whole family in the group and said, stop calling me. My answer is no. It's like, how do I get stuck all the time? And that's what they always say. But you don't work for anybody else. You don't have a job. It's like, I have a job. I work harder than all of you guys. I didn't just go 9 to 5 and clock out and like leave it at work. I'm all the time, 24 hours a day. It's like, yeah, lady. I put my foot down when I was 60. And then I kind of like slid back, and then 63. So my birthday was in February. It's like, okay, that's it. Now it's final. That's it. Stop calling me for stuff. So it's so funny. A few things have happened between now and then. And I see one of the grandkids. Oh, I'm over here helping Papa. Oh, this is happening. I'm over there. Oh, I'm over here. Oh, I went there. And I was like, when I stopped saying yes, everybody did step up.
Because they do step up. If you continue to do it, they know that you will do it. Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that, Sissy, because I've got 13 extra years on there until I find just this year was like, for real, no. So stick to your guns right now. And when you get a decade older, you'll be like, I'm so happy I stuck to that. Seriously. Okay. So one more time, tell everyone how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. So you can visit our website at Secured Investment Corp. So no plurals in there, Secured Investment Corp. You can schedule an appointment with me and my team on there. There's just 3 of us. We're a pretty small team, but they can also get information about our funds there. They can look at our notes. And I would encourage everybody, if you're not educated about self-directed IRAs and 401ks, call us. Yes. We're not a custodian, but I will point you in the right direction to learn more about that. There is so much opportunity. You can set up health savings accounts there now. You can set up college savings accounts. So there's a great opportunity for tax deferment on that type of stuff.
Nice. So at the end, I kind of like to do a little review and see if I took some good notes.
Okay.
So inside the mind of Heather Dreves, inside the mind of today's millionaire. Let's see. You are 51. You have 2 boys. Love that. You guys, you're a fund manager. Your company is Secured Investment Corp.com. You're a lender. People can actually get involved with just $1,000. They don't have to be accredited, which is seriously amazing. And when you were young, you were in sports. You went to college to be a teacher, which you are still teaching, just not school, which is neat. And you guys work, people that invest, 75% of the money goes towards lending, short term, interest only, 25% is invested in your area, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, all the area like that. You guys are nationwide, which I love. You like the Dave Matthews Band, which I love them too. And you like Mexican, and you like Lake Ponderay, sorry.
That's okay.
I try to write stuff phonetically, but I don't know exactly how to spell it. And I can't always read my writing because I'm writing really fast. And the mental, I really like the mental assignment this week. The 5 equity, it's mental. It's read for 30 minutes first thing in the morning and attach it to something you already do, like link it to your morning coffee, your tea, your breakfast, whatever, and link it with that so you have a better chance of fulfilling it.
Yep.
Is that a little bit about Miss Heather?
You did a great job.
Yay! 2 thumbs up on. All right, guys, and you can find me at Dwanderful.com. Opt in, and I've got 4 free ebooks for you. And I want you to do me a favor. If you had fun today with me and with Heather, and you learned anything, or you laughed, or just anything at all, I want you to subscribe to my podcast, the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Leave a 5-star review and write something nice. And when I do shows by myself without a guest, I read some of the reviews. So if you'd like to have a chance to have your review read, you got to leave one. Okay, so your last task of the day. This is hard for everybody. I want you to leave us with a word of wisdom, but it has to just be one single word.
Intentional.
Ooh. Intentional. That is a great word. And that was quick too. Some people have to really think on it for a minute. Intentional. Okay, so that's our word this week, guys. Intentional. So intentional. So reading and being intentional about our life. I really love it. Well, it has really been a pleasure having you on, Heather.
It's been a pleasure, likewise.
Love talking to you. You're so much fun. And when I get back out in your neck of the woods, we're going to hook up. Go have some some margaritas.
Yeah. And find out that scary piece of real estate that you were talking about.
I will. It was so much fun. It was like, I swear to you, I am really not spooked out by anything. But ever since when I was a kid, my first scary movie ever in my life was The Exorcist.
Oh, God.
And I am telling you, I have been like spiritually traumatized for 40 years or 50 years. And it's like, now I go to a place like that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so weirdly jumpy about stuff now. It's so crazy. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, Wilson, thank you again. And just hang on for a minute after we stop recording so I can talk for a minute. And guys, I want to thank you for your time. I know your time is super valuable. And Heather and I both appreciate you spending time with us. And I appreciate you today, Heather. Thank you. It was really fun.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And remember, the truth is in the red letters. All right, everybody. Ciao.
Thank you for dropping by to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever, making real estate investment wonderful each and every time. And for more information on how to make your real estate dreams a reality, keep an eye on Dwanderful.com and be sure to become a member.